Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the third anniversary celebration of the American Muslim Senior Society. I'm Bob Levey, and it's my pleasure to be your Master of Ceremonies today. Thank you all for joining us. Because of the format of the program, the audience will be muted today, and therefore there will not be time for questions. But if you do have a question, you can file it through the chat function down on the lower part of your screen. Or if you have questions for any of the presenters whose contact information appears on the AMSS website, you can send questions directly to them via the AMSS website. The address is www.amssmd.org. And after that, just find the programs tab. To all speakers and presenters today, please remember to unmute yourself before you speak so that we can keep this train running. This is a celebration of the third anniversary of AMSS and an opportunity to honor the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. As so many of you know, AMSS's efforts and focus have been primarily on those who suffer from disparities related to income and health. In these 3 years, AMSS has had a significant impact on the county's older communities of color. And despite the challenges that many in these communities of color may face, AMSS's achievements have been considerable, and during this program, you will learn more about the organization and about those who have spearheaded its success in Montgomery County. Now let's get going with the program, and it's my pleasure to introduce for opening prayers the Reverend James Boney, the Vice Chair of the Montgomery County Black Ministers Conference. After Reverend Boney, we will hear America the Beautiful, sung by Sarah Shaw, a student at National Cathedral School. And then after Sarah, Dr. Dina Shadsley, an AMSS board member, will offer her greetings and introduce a video highlighting AMSS's programs. Reverend Boney.
Good afternoon to all. Let us bow in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all the blessings of this day. We thank you, Lord God, for watching over us last night, dressing us in our right minds, pouring into us your health and strength. We thank you for putting over us your shield of protection and bringing us to this appointed day and time. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for bringing your people together on one accord, people of different faith, people of different race, people of different beliefs. But we acknowledge our differences, but we celebrate our unity as one people under one God, the creator of all. So we ask you, Lord God, to bless our coming together and help us, O Lord, to work together in unity to realize justice and equality for all people. Help us, O Lord, to work together so that no person goes hungry. All people are clothed. All people have access to affordable health care, and that each man or woman will be able to sit under their own shade tree. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, in a speech, said, "We are determined to work and fight until justice rains down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream." Help us, Lord God, to work together to fulfill Dr. King's dream so that this mighty tidal wave of justice and righteousness will sweep through America, sweeping out of its way anything that blocks its success. Sweep away racism, sweep away classism, sweep away bigotry, sweep away hatred, sweep away age discrimination, sweep away sex discrimination, sweep away indifference, sweep away selfishness, sweep away pride. And in the place of this emptiness, create in us love, 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 and more love, Lord God. And if we work together, maybe one day we'll arrive at that place in America called justice and righteousness for all people. Hear our prayer, O Lord, and we will be careful to give you all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise. We close this prayer out together in unity by asking each person to call out in the name of their own God. In unity, we will call out together on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. For me, I call out in the name of the Lord Jesus. Amen, amen, and amen.
Oh, beautiful for spacious spacious skies for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for pilgrim feet who stern impassioned stress, a thoroughfare for freedom beat across the wilderness. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness and every gain divine.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the American Muslim Senior Society third year anniversary event, Realizing the Vision, Equality Through Action. On behalf of AMSS Board of Directors, ambassadors, stakeholders, and staff, I wish to recognize and thank in advance our honorable guest speakers and our magnificent audience. Special thanks are due to Bob Levey. Bob Levey is the Washington Post and Beacon newspaper columnist. He also has a long career in radio and television broadcast. We will also be recognizing and congratulating the recipients of awards, ambassadors, and graduated certified nurse assistants for 2020. In February, we are celebrating the Black History Month, which is a good time to reflect back on people who fought for racial equality for everyone. We can't talk about racial equality without mentioning Dr. Martin Luther King and his persistent calls for racial equality and social justice, pushing for everyone to have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. The peaceful calls for race equity and the urgency to know who needs help coincide with the mission of AMSS. AMSS embraces diversity and targets isolated, underserved, and marginalized members of Montgomery County in Maryland. AMSS believes that no one should be left behind or discriminated against because of the color of skin, sex, age, or religion. God said clearly in the Holy Quran, O mankind, we created you from a male and a female and made you into peoples and tribes so you may get to know one another. Surely the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you. AMS is a role model established around this idea of our strength comes from our diversity and partnerships. With this in mind, we will start with a short video that presents AMS mission, our partnership in action, and the different activities and services presented by our ambassadors, faith leaders, and partnering stakeholders throughout Montgomery County. This is a 5 minutes video presented by Mrs. Mona Negm, the founder of AMS. I hope you will enjoy it and enjoy our anniversary event. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mona Negam. Welcome to the American Muslim Senior Society. AMSS is a health and long-term care non-profit organization with a mission to empower the county's diverse 55 plus and their caregivers by giving them access to tools and resources so that they can live with dignity in their communities. We especially focus on the isolated, underserved, and marginalized. AMSS is a model of diversity and partnership in action. We are partnering with community and county agencies, as well as 17 of the county premier health and long-term care organizations. Together, we have trained 67 health and long-term care outreach ambassadors who are serving as our link to isolated communities, delivering services and resources. We are very proud to work together with our partners on many successful programs, including the Halal Meals on Wheels and AMSS Advanced Care Outreach, Ambassador Curriculum Development and Ambassador Training, as well as AMSS Certified Nurses Assistant and Employment Program.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Amira Badawi. I am an ambassador with the Halal Meals on Wheels program with the American Muslim Senior Society. It is an organization where we provide meals, services, produce, and dry goods to seniors, persons with disabilities who are isolated and have needs.
The American Muslim Senior Society is having many programs, including Meals on Wheels, what we're doing today. We serve all seniors with different culture because we are a multicultural organization, which makes also interface, dialogues, and many other services. I'm so proud to be one of the ambassadors of AMSS.
When I sick, they call me and check on me. I appreciate this community so much. I'll never ask anywhere. They are the only one that give me food, which I appreciate for everything. They are doing a good job. God bless you and your family.
My name is Sharif Al-Magabbar. I work at the Montgomery County Police Officer, and I'm also one of the American Muslim Senior Society ambassadors. We deliver 180 hot meals every Sunday. In addition to that, we also deliver some produce and some perishable boxes. And all goes to senior citizens that they actually need, that they might have some disability issues and they may not be able to go out to eat in the middle of this COVID-19 especially.
We here at ISWA are very delighted to be part and parcel of the American Muslim Senior Society in the various training programs, the conferences, the seminar, and the interfaith conferences.
Volunteers from the Islamic community throughout Montgomery County are being trained in how best to respond to the needs of those who are ill and those who care for them. We are bringing experts in many fields to provide this training to our volunteers in how best to support people who are facing life-threatening illness and may be nearing the end of life. These volunteers will support members of the community as they face spiritual and religious concerns, healthcare needs, legal questions, and do their best to handle all of their needs and the needs of their loved ones.
I'm delighted to be part of the Advanced Care Outreach Ambassadors Training Committee and its end-of-life Islamic cultures and beliefs. These programs are designed for the benefit of our community, and I do hope that you will participate and make this a success.
Hi, I'm Sam Lish, President and CEO of Advanced Nursing and Home Support.
And I'm Tom Najjar with Care Plus Home Health, and we partner together with the American Muslim Senior Society to be the two agencies representing these certified nursing assistants that are graduating and going into the community to serve our elderly seniors in the diverse, multicultural community in Montgomery County.
My name is Julanar Abdullah. I am one of the American Muslim Senior Society CNA graduates. I joined the program to get the CNA certificate to help the senior community and to support my family. Thanks to AMSS, I am now ready to be an efficient and contributing member of the community.
It's our pleasure and honor to be part of this program with the American Muslim Senior Society, and we look forward to many years to come.
We thank you for your continued support of AMSS, and we look forward to having you join us on many other exciting programs and services. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shadsley, and thanks to all who have made AMSS the success that it has been across its 3 years. Also, thanks to all who were involved in producing that film. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce the County Executive of Montgomery County, Mark Elrich, who will offer some comments and then offer some awards to some very deserving people. County Executive Elrich.
Hold on. I had everything teed up and it all vanished. Give me a second. Okay, can you all hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. I've been having computer trouble for days now and just seems to be continuing. First of all, I want to thank you all for inviting me. I'm very grateful to be here at the AMSS on your 3rd anniversary celebration. I want to congratulate and thank you for everything you've done for your diversity outreach programs and your services that have helped those who are isolated and underserved with access to our county's resources. You play an important role in a partnership, and I just want you to know how much I appreciate it. Briefly, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the county's effort to equitably distribute COVID-19 vaccines throughout the county, especially in communities of color that have suffered the most from the virus. You'll be hearing from Dr. Raymond Kroll and Dr. Adil Brunetto at the end of the program to give you more information. But I'll tell you how this started. Montgomery County is part of the state system for vaccines. The governor started with priority orders, and the first priority was the first responders and the healthcare workers, because these are folks who have to stay healthy if they're going to be able to help us. And we know that of all the professions, healthcare workers are the ones that were bearing the heaviest toll of COVID cases. And then after those, we had the seniors who were 75 and older. And those were the first 2 priorities. Since then, the governor has made numerous other groups eligible for vaccine. He has made a total of about 300,000 people in Montgomery County eligible. Montgomery County is still only getting 15,000 doses a week. That's 4,500 for the county clinics and 10,000 additional doses for hospitals and pharmacies. The only doses that we can control in terms of who gets them are the doses that come to the county health clinic. So we're the only group in the county that is still focused on trying to get the 75-year-olds vaccinated. There were about 75,000 of them. We vaccinated, I think, maybe a little bit more than half of them right now, or right around half. And we continue to try to put them out. And like I said, we're the one group that is focusing its doses on that group. Within that group, when they send out the invitation to register and sign up for getting your vaccination, we are making an effort to make sure that zip codes and different ethnic groups are represented in the groups that are invited to get vaccinated. We did not want a system, which is the norm in the state right now, where it's first come, first served. So if you're computer competent, if you are language competent, if you've got a fast computer or a smartphone, you can register and compete for these doses that are available. People without computers, people without with language issues that makes it harder for them to sign up online, they have struggled. And so if you look at who's getting vaccinated in the county, we continue to have minority groups underrepresented among those who need to get vaccinated. So we are actually working to correct that. Again, we're the only one so far in the state that has actually has an equity framework and is trying to execute on the equity framework. So we're going to keep doing this. We are hopeful that more vaccines are coming. We have been told now that we'll have 4,500 doses for the next 4 weeks, which will let us start scheduling people for the next 4 weeks. That's something else we haven't been able to do because we were never sure of what we were going to get the next week. So that's an improvement. So hopefully people will at least get the comfort of knowing that they can schedule an appointment now. And we're continuing to ask people to be patient. We can only do so much with our 4,500 doses, and even with the full 15,000 that are coming to the county. When you have 300,000 people eligible, it's very hard to make those folks happy. I tell people that at the end of every week, there are 285,000 unhappy people who weren't able to get registered for their dose, and only 15,000 who were. So that's an update on where we are right now. We still are emphasizing testing for the community is absolutely important, critical that we know where COVID is in the community, how many cases they are, and also importantly, where they are. So we can both make sure those folks get help and we can minimize the spread within the community, but also so we can identify communities that are having the greatest number of cases so we can provide some focus on those communities when we do our vaccines. So just because we have vaccines doesn't mean that you shouldn't be tested. And after you're tested and after you get your shot, you should probably expect that for some months to come, we're still going to be asking people to wear masks because the new variants are also coming. They are not completely protected against in this first round of vaccines. And so we're going to have to continue to make sure that we do follow all the safety precautions to keep us safe. But you'll hear more on all this from Dr. Crowell later on. And so I just want to again say thank you and let you know that I know how valuable you are in this community. And I'm going to give the AMSS certificates of awards to the AMSS county and community leaders in grateful recognition and appreciation of your valuable contributions to the county's interfaith and diverse communities. These certificates are awarded to the Honorable Council Member Sidney A. Katz, Dr. Yasmin Majid, DDS, PC, and Dr. Javed Remat, MD, who are both getting the award as community leaders. Lily Fisher, Caregiver Support Program, Area Agency for the Aging. Mansfield Caseman for his ongoing work and service in the Office of Community Partnerships. Jessica Fuchs, the Healthcare Initiative Foundation. Marla Kaplan, Montgomery County Public Schools. Angela Overton, Coalition to Transform Advanced Care, CTAC. Adila Sharif, Islamic Center of Maryland, ICM. The Honorable Mumin Bar, Community Leader. Imam Faisal R. Khan, the Islamic Society of the Washington Area, ISWA. And Imam Muhammad Abdullahi, Muslim Community Center. These are the 11 awardees. I want to thank you for the work you've continued to do in the community and congratulate you on your recognition by AMSS for that work. And I will stop there.
Okay, thank you very much, County Executive Mark Elrich, and congratulations to all the awardees. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce C. Marie Taylor, who is a well-known and respected county leader. She is the former CEO of Leadership Montgomery. She's now president of Equity Through Action. And her topic today is, what is my role in advancing equity? C. Marie Taylor.
Okay, I'm assuming so. I haven't heard any feedback, so I'm assuming so. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I have a short time today, so let me get right into my speech today. What is my role in advancing equity? So I want to start today with one of my favorite quotes that I try to live by. So here it goes. Be bold enough to use your voice, brave enough to listen to your heart, and strong enough to live the life you imagined. And so I try to do and live by those words every single day. And we'll try to do that for the next 6.5 minutes to use my voice, my heart, and to try to give you ways to try to imagine how you can bring equity to your work in your personal and professional lives. So where did this start for me? So my path, here are my parents, here are me, here I am, and here's what I learned from them, that life is short, sometimes it isn't really fair, but we want to try to live the best life that we can and be a model and really figure out what our why is and how we can use it with our full purpose. And so I've tried to use that every single day in the way that I work and show up personally, professionally through all of my roles. And it's really come to fruition throughout my work. So it shaped my why, and it helped me to figure out how to be the first in most of the things that I do. Like I was the first president and CEO, Black female president and CEO of Leadership Montgomery, the Community Foundation, Interfaith Works. It's been my why. How can I be a representative of my community and really show up? And so in that work, I use it every single day. So let's talk about your why and how you can use it. So here's my why. When I was in 3rd grade, I moved to an all-white county in Virginia, and one of the first things that happened to me is that a little girl told me that I couldn't sit at the table because I was Black. And so I learned that I was Black and that some people don't like Black people. What I did with that information is how I continue to live 48 years later. What is my why? How can I help people see the humanity in me? How can I see the humanity in you? And so I use that why, right? So what is your why? What's your motivation? So I took that shock, that awe, and used it as motivation. What is your motivation, right? That's my why. Figure out your why. So then what's my how? What do I do that? I try to volunteer, I speak at engagements, I try to represent myself, I do it in my work. That's my how. So what is your how? How can you do the work that you want to in terms of advancing equity? And then what's the what? So I use it in my company every single day. I talk about different ways that we can show up in our personal and professional lives to advance equity, and how it's important for all of us to see the humanity and the loss that happens when we don't see the humanity in each other. So what's your what, your how, and your why? So figuring that out. And then what does that turn in terms of steps, right? So there are different things that you can ask yourself. So the first question I would say is, what are your personal and professional networks? So jot that down, think about what those are. Who and where do you have discretion to, right? So what circles do you have discretion and act to advance equity? And then what can you do with the resources that you have, or even add resources to make these changes? And then finally, what does success look like for you? So the 4 questions I would ask you to think about after this presentation is, what are your professional networks? Where do you have discretion to act? What can you do with or without resources or with the authority that you have? And then what does success look like for you? It could be something small, but what does that look like? And then once you answer those questions, then you can think about, well, what are the other tools that I have in my tool belt to make this work happen? So we actually have a lot more power than we think about and more tools in our tool belt. We have an open mind. You're here today to learn, right? You have a voice. You can speak about things that you think aren't fair or right. We all have a loving heart. So how can we use that in our work? Outstretched arms in our community to make sure that we're embracing everyone, including those that don't look like each other, right? And then our smartphones to talk and look at resources, our moving legs, our strong backbone, because this is hard work, our pocketbook if we have those resources, and then really just making sure that we use 2 ears and 1 mouth to make sure that we're showing up and speaking to each other with kindness and love and clarity about how we can advance equity. And then finding what are the 6 traits that we want to use for this work. We want to use our commitment. We want to have courage. We want to be aware of our own bias. We want to make sure we're curious, right? We're culturally intelligent and that we're collaborating. We're working with each other to get this work done. And so here's the things I'll lead you with, right? So we've got to do the work. We've got to show up and evaluate our intentions around how we want to help each other, learn the difference between diversity, equity, and inclusion, reach out and include folks, and then amplify your voice when you can and where you can, which is why I'm here. So with that, thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I hope you continue to learn and grow.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Very well said. And if anybody in the audience would like to learn more about her or about her organization, her website address is www.equitythroughaction.com. Next, it's my pleasure to welcome Will Jawando, who's a member of the Montgomery County Council. He will make remarks honoring AMSS on its 3rd anniversary, and he will introduce some special guests. Councilmember Jawando.
Thank you, Bob. It's good to be here, and I appreciate all the great speakers in that wonderful video. And I want to give a special shout out to Mona and all the great colleagues that she's worked with for so many years to really put together a wonderful, wonderful community service and organization that is helping so many. So congratulations on your 3rd anniversary. I've been proud to partner with you over the years and look forward to even continued partnership at such a critical time in not only our county's history, but the history of the country, history of the world. The work that you're doing and continue to do and are committed to doing going forward is so critical to making sure that we have an equitable recovery and that those hardest hit by these multiple pandemics of racial and social justice and the health pandemic and the economic fallout are able to recover in a very equitable and wholesome way for themselves and their entire family. The work you do in a culturally proficient way to make sure that services are available to all segments of our community is one of the reasons that so many of us have taken time out of today to wish you congratulations and happy anniversary. The accomplishments that we saw in the video, helping the needy during this pandemic, but not just for the last year. You've been doing this, and even in your individual capacities. I know many of you wear multiple hats. It was great to see Officer Sharif, who's always at MCC, helping folks get in and out for prayer and for the health clinic, and so many tentacles that so many that are involved with this organization have in our community. So it's been an honor to work with you. I'm here to help. As the county executive mentioned, we are working very hard and pushing as much as we can to make sure we get people vaccinated in an equitable way as quickly as possible, while providing support to our residents who are in need, and there are many. We have to make sure we get our students back to school safely, and we vaccinate at least the first shot, all the teachers and staff that are going to be interacting with them. My wife and I are the parents of 4 young children, ages 2, 7, 8, and 10, and we know how hard it is on children and families during this time. So we have to make getting back to school a top priority. That means making sure that they're equipped and there's vaccinations and the HVAC works, and that the supports are there for the students who have been out for almost 2 school years in a full calendar year this March. So we're going to need a lot of support, and I know you all are committed to that as well. I have 2 proposals related to housing, because we're going to need to make sure housing, we have more of it and that it's more affordable. And so I'm putting a proposal to not allow exorbitant rent increases and to prevent rent gouging, and to expand the types of housing and home ownership that we have across the county through missing middle zoning changes. We also going to have to look at more revenues. We're going to have to figure out how we do progressive taxation in this county. There's some bills in Annapolis that I've supported for a number of years that we're hoping pass that will allow us to ask those who have done really well. And we know that there's many, many people in this K-shaped recovery who have made money during this time, and we're happy for that. But we have a responsibility to make sure that everyone's paying their fair share and that we're cutting taxes for people who need it and making sure that we can support the services that are going to be needed to get out of this in a stronger way. And then we're working to reimagine public safety. We know that the history of this country, that not everyone is treated fairly. Certainly that's always been true for the Muslim American community as well. And so I appreciate your continued partnership on those issues as we work to re-envision the role of our public safety officials to make everyone safer, to have them focus on violent crime and not on people experiencing homelessness or mental health issues or in our schools. And we can do it, and we can do it here, and we can be a leader here in Montgomery County. So thank you for all that you all do. There's so much more, but I just had a short time to share with you today. Happy anniversary, and I look forward to our continued partnership. Thank you. Oh, and hold on, I was supposed to do something else here. I'm supposed to introduce, I'm supposed to introduce the Amazing Grace choir video. And so it's my pleasure to introduce them, and they're going to bless us with a song. So there you go. Thank you very much. And this is from our church, Kingdom Fellowship, AME.
Well, praise the Lord. We bring you greetings from Kingdom Fellowship, AME Church, where Matthew L. Watley is the pastor. My name is Michael White, and we are the White family. We love to praise God. We just came to encourage you. Go ahead and put those hands together and let's celebrate the American Muslim Senior Society on their 3-year anniversary. And while you're clapping your hands, if you can agree that God's love is amazing, just wave your hands and say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hallelujah. So as we lift up this song about His amazing grace, we pray that you're encouraged in Jesus' name. Hallelujah.
Thank you so much to the amazing Grace Choir and to the White family, and special thanks again to Councilmember Will Jawando. The next portion of the program will feature 3 presenters who will provide a local perspective on the inequities and disparities that affect older communities of color. We're pleased that this portion of the program will be moderated by Gabe Albornoz, who is the Montgomery County Council Vice President and a close friend and supporter of AMSS. Mr. Albornoz will pose 2 questions to the presenters. He will ask, as community leaders, what are the key challenges you experienced in your respective communities? And he will ask whether they can give a few examples of some of the solutions and some of the resources that they're able to share with their communities, clients, and friends. Let's welcome Council Vice President Gabe Albornoz.
Bob, thank you for that warm introduction. And first, let me thank you, sir. I had the opportunity to meet you almost 20 years ago when you were doing an event on behalf of Children's Hospital. You have remained very plugged into our community, giving back every day. And I'm proud to say I'm reading your book right now, my friend, and I encourage everybody to go out and read it. But Bob, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Absolutely. And of course, thank you so much to the American Muslim Senior Society. What you have done and continue to do and will do into the future for our community is nothing short of heroic. I had the opportunity to meet Mona as the former director of the Department of Recreation and was impressed right away with her energy and her vision and the incredible collaboration of leaders that she works with every day to provide critical services, to provide advocacy, and to lift up our senior community here in Montgomery County. I was taught many years ago that the marker of a strong community is how it treats its elders. And just a quick point of privilege, my grandmother, Guadalupe Albornoz, actually passed away just 2 weeks ago. She was 96 and lived a full life, and is the reason that my family immigrated so successfully to this country many years ago. I miss her dearly, but the values she instilled in me is what AMSS carries out every day. And so it truly is an honor and privilege to be with all of you. And it's an honor and privilege to have the opportunity to introduce this remarkable panel of leaders in our community. We have Dr. Sheikh Hassan, who is a retired pulmonologist and the former vice dean at Howard University College of Medicine. We also have Aizat Aladapo, the AMSS ambassador and program manager, through our Department of Health and Human Services. And then we have Adila Sharif from the Islamic Center of Maryland, who will all speak from their respective perspectives on what is happening in our community and discuss both the challenges and solutions facing our senior community today. And so the first question, as Bob mentioned, that I will be posing to all 3 of the panelists is number 1, as community leaders, what are the key challenges you have experienced in your respective communities? And Dr. Hassan, we will start with you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace and blessings be on to all of you. I will answer the question by relating the case of an immigrant that typifies what is not uncommon, especially among the immigrants in this country. I modified some of the facts of the case to protect the identity of the person involved. Now for the case, both the husband and the wife migrated to the United States many years ago, and they retired when they were well into their 70s, primarily because of financial necessity. On retirement, they had practically no savings, and their income were very small from their retirement funds and from Social Security. The income level was just above the threshold to qualify for Maryland Medicaid. And from that income, the premiums for Medicare, the supplemental, and prescription drug plan were deducted from their Social Security benefits. As you can imagine, as they get older, their non-covered medical expenses increased because of other medical problems that include total blindness and severe hearing loss in the husband. They could not afford a hearing aid. However, the wife struggled physically but took care of the husband. Other challenges shortly ensued, especially shortly after her husband died. Now she lives alone, and her income, as you can imagine, plummeted because of loss of about 50% of retirement benefits and loss of most of the Social Security benefits. She developed herself significant mobility problems and hearing problems. So transportation became a challenge for her, and she could no longer afford a car, nor even drive one if she could. She ambulates very slowly and gingerly with a walker. She does not have a computer or a cell phone, and is certainly not computer literate. So she was unable to participate with virtual physician's visits, even by telephone because of the hearing loss. She needs assistance with many of the activities of daily living, including preparation of meals, transportation for groceries, and of course for doctor's office visits and house cleaning. She has another challenge, which is very prevalent in the immigrant community, and that is the type of meals that she was accustomed to, which she was able to fix for herself and her husband when she was alive. She is now more than 80 years old, and you can imagine for 80 years she was accustomed to one type of meal, and people who do visit her take meals of a different type sometimes. She also had challenges to register for the COVID-19 vaccine online, certainly, and even by telephone because of her hearing loss. But some of that was resolved, as I will mention shortly. The arthritis and other matters make TTY use almost impossible for her. So what has been done for her? The second question that you asked. Well, she received assistance from family, from friends, and from community members who take dishes for her, and more frequently than not, are dishes to which she was accustomed. Transportation, they assisted her with that also whenever possible, and they assist her in making telephone calls, including pre-registering, that is, for the COVID-19 vaccine. But if a phone call were to come into her home, she may not be able to respond in a timely manner or even hear them on the telephone. Those who visit her assist in arranging her medicines and making appointments for her and buying groceries, taking her to the grocery store. And they try to ensure as much as possible that her apartment is secure, is clean, and is comfortable. She looks at television, the most basic service that she has, and look forward to the visits from family, friends, and others, her only social outlet. This is not an unusual case, but it does typify what happens in the immigrant community, especially those who are older. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hazan. That tracks very much with the types of issues we're hearing in my office from constituents who are experiencing very similar challenges. Next, we will hear from Aizat again. As community leaders, what are the key challenges you have experienced in your respective communities?
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, Council Member Gabe, for those questions. I'd like to give you a quick overview of who we are and what we do to give a better understanding of some of these keys of concerns. I am one of AIM's 67 trained health and long-term care outreach ambassadors, and I have been with AIM since its inception. I lead one of 5 AIM's ambassador outreach teams. We are assigned to geographical locations throughout the county where there are large, diverse communities of color. We identify residents that are underserved, isolated, and ages 55 and above. We also look after their caregivers and persons with disabilities to provide them with comprehensive social outreach resources and support. And we also try and address their isolation and offer access to services. I'll also give you a brief description of the clients we serve. They are diverse in race, ethnicity, national origin, age, household compositions, health and immigration status, as well as education and income levels. However, there are many similarities. Most of our clients are first-generation immigrants who are experiencing many barriers due to their cultural, language, limited income, health insurance, limited access to healthy food. They are also fearful and distrustful of our healthcare system. And some of them suffer long-term chronic illnesses and they do not have access to technology. So with taking these into account, the challenges that impact their health and their well-being mostly is their inability to access quality, affordable, and culturally sensitive healthcare. Shortages of affordable and low-income housing in the county, and inability to access affordable transportation services. So at AMSS, we do believe in strong partnerships are the keys to finding solutions to these barriers. AMSS is partnering with a host of public and private agencies, as well as interfaith and business communities. Key among them is the Department of Health and Human Services, the Aging and Disability Services, Montgomery County Food Council, the AMSS stakeholders representing 17 of the county's health long-term care agencies, as well as the county's 11 Islamic centers. For example, we are developing partnerships with the Muslim Community Center Medical Clinic to facilitate access of affordable and cultural appropriate healthcare services. We are presently providing our clients with the COVID vaccine support center number for those who do not have internet access. We work with closely with the Islamic Center of Maryland. They provide us monthly with 100 nutritious boxes of non-perishable goods for our Halal Meals on Wheels members. As to transportation, we are in partnership with the Regency Taxis, who have provided us with $5,000 free taxi ride coupons for our isolated clients. In addition to this, we are working with Aging and Disability Services Call and Ride program and the JCA Connect to Ride program, both of which have proven very helpful to our seniors. Finally, we are exploring with our partners several alternative and innovative options, including home sharing, to address the housing challenges that our clients face. Thank you.
Thank you. It's impressive work, and it has never been more important than right now. Next, we will hear from Adila Sharif.
Good afternoon. My name is Adila Sharif, and I am a Board of Trustee at Islamic Center of Maryland. One of the key challenges that we faced last year as the pandemic started was a sudden increase in requests for food and in the means for how to access and get that food to the seniors. Our pandemic story is one of amazing community engagements and powerful relationship with some of our partners. As COVID forced the mosque to shut down for services, the needs started pouring in from people of all faiths, especially seniors. So we opened our doors for community service. We didn't know how we would do it, so we turned to the community and the donations, and the volunteers started pouring in. That started the amazing, amazing journey of the ICM Cares team, a group of volunteers that have met week after week, month after month, to provide food to the community. Who are these seniors that need help with our Precious Deliver with Care program? Some of them were fine before the pandemic started. One of the seniors that I spoke to recently said, "Thank you so much for providing me food. Before the pandemic, I used to provide food to the homeless shelter every Sunday." Another senior that I spoke to recently said, "Thank you for checking up on me. My money ran out. I was saving for utilities. I had to use it for groceries. I wish I could give up, but then I look at my grandson and say, how would he survive? These are regular people that were fine before the pandemic and now are learning how to learn the system. That's where powerful partnerships like American Muslim Senior Society come in. Last year, Sister Mona and I talked in March, and we decided we would help the seniors. We did not know how, we did not know where we would get the money, but we decided that we would get food to the seniors. And from then, they have been providing that care to the seniors, and we have been helping with food. That's also where we developed relationship with other powerful community partners: Montgomery County Food Council, Montgomery County Food Task Force, HIF, Manna Foods, Community Food Rescue, Islamic Relief, the Loon Corp, you name it. And we work with them to get the food to Montgomery County to serve with numerous food drives. And we were able to, with the help of all these partners, give out about more than 350,000 pounds of food with the food drives. We are truly honored that we were able to serve with these amazing other partners during the pandemic. Thank you.
Well, that work is inspiring. I want to thank all three of you so much for your leadership and for that perspective. I will now discuss from the county's perspective what essentially is happening at the county level, county-wide level, and then we have a presentation that we will be giving in a little bit. But I do have the great fortune of chairing the county's Health and Human Services Committee on the County Council. And so we have seen firsthand the crushing need that is being experienced by our residents right now. More than 240,000 county residents have filed for unemployment since the beginning of the pandemic. We also know that there are literally thousands of county residents, over 2,000, that are in the queue to be evicted from their homes as soon as the emergency declaration is alleviated by our governor. We are seeing overwhelming calls coming to our 311 call center with very complex needs. And of course, we are severely concerned about the mental health of all of our county residents, but especially those most vulnerable, and in particular, our senior population. The social isolation that has had to go on since the beginning of the pandemic has been growing, and the anxiety and anxiousness that people are feeling right now, waiting as patiently as they can to receive the vaccine, is also a tremendous challenge and adding to the burden and the social and emotional anxiety that all of our residents are feeling, but in particular our seniors. And of course, we haven't been able to provide as much support within our own families for our parents and our loved ones as we would like to because of everything that has transpired. But despite all of those immense challenges, I actually am optimistic about this upcoming year. And I'm optimistic for three reasons. The first reason is I have seen tremendous evidence of community-based organizations, everyday citizens and residents stepping forward to assist their neighbors in need. Whether it's through our food security programs here in Montgomery County, where we have stood up these hub models, a one-stop shop for residents to be able to receive services that we hope to carry on beyond the pandemic. It's really remarkable the way that our social safety net has held firm and has actually grown stronger because of the partnerships and alliances among our community-based organizations and with our county government and our private sector as well. The second reason I'm optimistic about our future is I see this as an opportunity for us to evaluate our entire system of care. The disparities that have led to the severe disparities we've seen through the virus, unfortunately, were not a surprise. They were there before. And I really have to give a lot of credit to Dr. Raymond Crowell, who you will be hearing from soon as the director of the Department of Health and Human Services, and Dr. Travis Gales, our public health officer, who have not just been on the front lines addressing the issues of the pandemic, but laying the foundation so that coming out of it, we can actually be stronger by taking better advantage of telemedicine and telehealth, by improving communication lines and by improving transportation lines for our residents. And the final thing that gives me hope are you, our incredible community-based organizations such as AMSS, which have not just been able to step up through this immense hour of need, but have grown stronger as an organization, have created a time and space for us to be able to effectively come together as a community and partner in a way that is an authentic, profound, and meaningful partnership. And so for those three reasons, I actually am optimistic that we are going to come out of this stronger. And later this fall, as the dust settles from where we are right now, we will be holding a public health summit to more comprehensively and more holistically address those barrier issues that led to the public health disparities that existed prior to the pandemic and have been exacerbated since the pandemic. Together, I'm confident that we will make it through, and we will make it through stronger. So thank you again to the incredible panel of speakers that spoke earlier, and we will now be presenting an award on behalf of the governor to this incredible organization. And let me pull up my talking points. So congratulations to AMSS on its effective strategies of training 67 multicultural outreach ambassadors who are serving the county's isolated, underserved, and marginalized communities. So now we're going to introduce, this is an introduction of the awardees. Today we honor a special team of AMSS ambassadors, the Halal Meals on Wheels outreach ambassadors with the Governor's Award. And thank you to Governor Hogan, who has been a strong leader throughout this pandemic and a strong partner to Montgomery County. These incredible individuals have been providing direct, comprehensive social outreach and support to more than 200 older persons, caregivers, and persons with disabilities, positively impacting their quality of life and those of their families. And the award officially reads, in appreciation of your contributions to the citizens of Maryland and your support of our great state's longstanding tradition of community service and your efforts to change Maryland for the better, you are presented this Governor's Volunteer Service Certificate signed by Governor Larry Hogan and Lieutenant Governor Rutherford, Boyd Rutherford. And Dr. Shazli, if you could continue.
Yes, sure. Okay, AMSS Governor's Awards are presented to Dr. Dora Mahmoudesn, Amira Badawi, Sharif Al-Mugabbar, Aizat Aladapo, Dina Shazli, Barbara Khadr, Jihan Tamam, Dr. Anwar Johir, Fadwa El-Hajj, Salma Musa, Fariha Bajwa, Dr. Sheikh Hassan, Farouk Musa, Nafisa Touré, Suad Belbleazer, Shireen Middleton, Baby Gaza, Awatif Khalil, Dr. Javid Mir, Faiza Shabani, Habib Ghanem, Zulaya Ibrahim, Wiria Young, Maryama Say, Malak Abdul Hamid, Shafiq Massis, Fausa Aliyu. So congratulations, AMSS ambassadors, and thank you so much for volunteering.
Congratulations to all the awardees, and special thanks to Council Member Gabe Albornoz for being here today and for your consistent support of AMSS over the years. We really appreciate it. Next, it's my pleasure to welcome Lamia Hanshawi, who will be presenting her lyrically speaking presentation, Don't Give Up.
Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. This, my friend, is for you. The trials that you face and the dreams that you chase, you're behind in your race and you're straying from your pace. Your mind is scattered all over the place and you're desperate for space. Little did you know this is your time to embrace. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. You know, we tend to hide what's inside and waste time on what could have been. It isn't the key to believe in our own identity. Your past brought you here. This is where it all begins. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. So don't sit hour after hour while your tribulations tower. Don't forget the countless blessings over which you have been showered. Find your strengths and your powers to rise above the cowards. Be like the flowers that give off its scent when it's crushed and devoured. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. And I found myself running from calamity, insanity to sanity. This is a reality that we forget, who created us and molded us and made us human beings with the details and fashion of DNA and genes, who gave us a mind to judge our own actions and routines. By all means, don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. And yes, life can be quite a mystery, and the key to success doesn't come free. And if you believe that this is all decreed, then what will be will be. But I guess not everything that we wish for is always guaranteed. But your efforts won't be fruitless. Don't ever think you are useless. We all serve a purpose, so please don't feel hopeless. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. And no, you're not just another number to be disposed of after. You're a mother, father, sister, brother, friend, and a lover. To be true to yourself is worth the struggle, though the critics make you suffer. Trees lose their leaves only to blossom by the summer. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything. So repel negativity with positivity and watch life with every single possibility, and have an attitude for gratitude. And if you want to be happy, that's exactly what we're meant to do. Don't give up. Don't give in. There's always an answer to everything.
Thank you, Ms. Hanshawi. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Raymond Crowell. He's the director of Montgomery County's Department of Health and Human Services and a longtime friend of AMSS and a longtime participant in AMSS programs. Dr. Crowell.
Good afternoon, everyone. Give me just a second while I get the light fixed here. It's always a challenge to get this right on a day like today. We're going to go with this, I think. There we go. All right, we'll be there. So it's a pleasure to be with you all today. Thank you, and congratulations to AMSS on celebrating its anniversary. I remember talking with Mona Negam when she first started this up and thinking this is going to be something to watch, because she has been a nonstop bundle of energy, and the group has likewise been an incredible partner over the years that they've been in operation. And I'm looking forward to much more of that cooperation and energy as we go forward in the years. You know, I mean, the work in this time is needed more than ever. You know, we are, you've heard some of the discussions about what's happening with our elders in the community, and like many of our older neighbors, we are all locked down. And the depression, the loneliness, the isolation that we all experience is far worse when our connections are lost with the people that we care for, the family members and community members, and especially for people for whom community means so much. This is a point in time where we have to make an extra effort to reach out, to understand, and to be there. Health and Human Services as a department is one of those things that you can't describe in an elevator speech. And we have tried to describe it over the years, and we will continue to try to describe it, but there is such a breadth and depth to the things that we do that it is really a challenge for people to really grasp the things that we do. From healthcare to mental health care to services to our seniors and to persons with disabilities, to support to families, emergency support and families, to food and shelter. We are a very broad and very deep organization. You all know Dr. Brunetto and her work and the work that she has done, and the Community Action Agency and the work that they do. We have a medical clinic that we provide to folks through our Montgomery Cares system that we support, that provides healthcare to the uninsured and healthcare to folks who need it. Senior nutrition programs for older adults, and links to state services and supports for older adults and persons with disabilities all comes through our office. Case management and support for older adults who need additional support. Transportation and senior nutrition are all things that we have done and are part of. We don't do that work alone. We do that work through an incredibly complex and deep array of partners, and AMSS is part of that array and partnership that I'm happy to say. You know, the work includes food services that you've heard about, rental assistance, and partnerships with senior villages all over the county to try to make sure that people have what they need. This last year has been absolutely stunning. I took this job as director in July of 2019. And I thought, I had some thoughts about what I wanted to do, and I still have those thoughts. But halfway into that first year, COVID changed our course and changed our lives and changed my plans. Whatever I had planned has gotten put on hold while we do battle with this disease and try to pull ourselves out of this mess that we're in. For our older community members, this is particularly a challenge. You've heard Councilmember Eldridge talk about the county's role in vaccinating and our intent to vaccinate our older adults who are 75 and over. That is a community that has enormous challenges with this process. The digital divide by itself means that there are seniors who don't have technology or the skills to manage that technology, to be able to do something as simple as we think is simple as logging on to the internet and scheduling an appointment. The state system has been developed in a way that is a first come, first serve, so that 400 doses or appointments become available, they could be gone in 30 minutes. And if your fingers aren't quick, if you're not alert and know when that's happening, you miss an opportunity. We have set up some things to try to slow that process down a little bit, our pre-registration system that I'll talk about at some point, hopefully, but the ability to slow that down and give people a chance, give our older adults a chance to do that, to register, pre-register, to get scheduled up so that they know that there's a dose being reserved for them when it is their time, when it becomes available, is important. But even with that, there are folks who still can't access it. And so we've set up call centers, and we've invited the community to help an older adult, help a family member or a community member to pre-register, to get scheduled for an appointment for a vaccine. It's the only way we're ultimately going to get there, is doing this as a partnership. We have identified, as we've gone through this process of standing up vaccination sites, and this is all a work in progress and building and learning every day how to do something a little differently, a little better. Since our first vaccinations in December, or the week before Christmas, December 23rd, I think, until now, we have learned every day and every step along the way how to do this better. So we are working on getting people access. We have now stood up transportation needs to address the needs of people who cannot get to a vaccine site without a ride. They need a ride. So we're working with JCA and our partners, and Dr. Burnetto is spearheading that initiative in collaboration with our public health office. We also have people, older adults in our community who cannot, and persons with disabilities who cannot get out of their houses or their homes to be vaccinated, and who live in senior living communities who need a different kind of approach. We're going to senior living communities and standing up small vaccination sites there to get those residents vaccinated so they don't have to leave home to get that. We're also starting processes to take vaccines around in the community. That is a labor-intensive process, obviously, and it's going to take some time to flesh that out, and it's going to take a lot more vaccine than we are currently receiving to really make that work. But we are setting that process in place so that as vaccine becomes available, we will be able to do that more readily for members of the community. We're going to take it to people who have a need. We have a long way to go. I am like Council Vice President Albornoz. I am optimistic. I came from a vaccination site just before this meeting began, before we began the celebration today. And I come away from those sites with energy and a sense of hope, because the vaccines we are able to administer are life-saving. They will change people's lives. And the the staff of public health and the staff and the partners that we have around the community have been incredible. We need patience and persistence, and our community members, our older community members, all of us have to stay safe and stay patient with this. There is an answer. There's always an answer to everything, to quote our young singer from just a moment ago. We don't need to give up. We don't need to give in. There is an answer for everything. We will continue this process, and we're going to beat this vaccine, and we will be able to draw a breath of fresh air with our loved ones, with our grandchildren, with our nieces and nephews, and with each other in what I think of as one of the most wonderful and wonderfully diverse communities in the state of Maryland and maybe in the country. Thank you.
Can you hear me? You will have to graduate AMSS certified nurses assistants.
I hear someone. So I think I'm with Dr. Shalaze. Shalaze, our part of our role here is now to walk through the graduation with the certified nursing assistants, and we have 25 nursing assistants today. And I think, are we announcing those names and saying congratulations to them as part of this process? I just want to be sure.
Yes, doctor. So Dr. Dina, let's get started.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the Achievement Award are presented to the following AMSS CNA graduates: Sophia Akmal, Monia Hasnawi, Betula Wright, Latifa Meiti, Haja Sko, Sana Al-Muaqqat, Jezebel Mukatibi, Asiatu Sar, Suad Belbasir, Maha Medani, Muntaha Siraj, جولانار عبد الله، موسم علي عبد الله، مواد فاضل، تبيان هيل، زينب حسن، كالفن لورنس، إبراهيم محمد، نوران Mahdi, and Zatuna Tolesa. So congratulations for everyone, and thank you so much for your effort, and you're now graduated. Good luck. Thank you.
Congratulations, graduates, and thank you. We look forward to your energy and your spirit and your service in this county and across the state. Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Krell. Thank you, Dr. Shadzi, and let me add my own congratulations to all the CNA graduates. Next, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Odile Brunetto. She is Director of Montgomery County's Aging and Disability Services. She'll describe the efforts of her department to address inequities and tell us about the resources available. Dr. Brunetto.
Thank you so much, everyone. That is such a beautiful occasion today. Thank you. I feel so honored to be able to be part of this wonderful celebration. Many thanks for this outstanding event today, and congratulations to the awesome winners of the award ceremonies, both the graduates, the 25 graduates who are going to be now working to assist our older adults in our community who need some help. And congratulations for the awardees from the governor's office, as well as the AMSS board. So while our office has had a formal relationship with AMSS for the past 3 years, we have had a formal contract together. Clearly, we have been collaborating with AMSS for many more years. As you may recall, the most wonderful, inspiring leader of AMSS and the founder, Mama Mona, was a member of the Commission on Aging a couple of years ago, and she had a vision at that point to develop this organization, which is now very much alive and well and contributing unbelievably to the community in our county. So congratulations again to Mona, to the board, to the graduates, to the volunteers and the ambassadors for the incredible positive influence and contributions here in our county. I'd like to remind you that on the AMSS website, there is some amazing information related to services that are available to folks in need. The first one has to do with the Aging and Disability Services Office, 240-777-3000. This is a point of entry for anyone who has questions, who need help, for older adults, their family caregivers, or persons with disabilities. So please contact it at that number. Again, if people locally need some help pre-registering for the vaccine, the phone number is 240-777-2982 to obtain guidance on the phone for people who do not have access to a computer. Just call us at that number and we will guide you through the pre-registration process. When you pre-register, you will be asked a number of questions, and one of them is, do you need assistance to go to the vaccination site, such as transportation? So please let us know exactly what is needed so we can work with you, we can plan and organize so that when the time comes for the vaccination appointment, things are organized and ready to go. Also, to let you know that the state Department of Health has a 7 days a week telephone line available from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Again, it's on the AMSS website. It is 1-855-634-6829. So for those folks who are interested to try to get a vaccine and pre-register for the mass vaccination sites or the various pharmacies that are starting to provide the vaccine, that is a phone number that is available to anyone who would like to call them. So I also would like to introduce you to one of our newest team members. We are very, very fortunate to have a new wonderful director of the Montgomery County Area Agency on Aging. Her name is Dr. Patrice McGee, and she started with us in late November. So Dr. McGee, if you could unmute yourself and get to join us online, that should be great. I would appreciate it very much.
Excellent. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And congratulations on 3 years of service. This has been a very beautiful celebration. In the brief time that I've been here in the county, I'm a new resident of Montgomery County. I've heard about the far reach and wonderful works of AMSS. So I'm very excited to partner with you, continue our partnership and collaborate moving forward to serve our older residents of Montgomery County. Thank you again for having me.
Thank you so much, Dr. McGee, and welcome aboard again. So finally, I'd like to say, if you could look at your calendar and put a hold for March the 2nd at 7 p.m. We're going to have a special online event for anyone interested, specifically focusing on safety for older adults. This is in partnership with the County Police Department, Fire and Rescue, Consumer Protection, and Office of Emergency Management. So we look forward to seeing you soon on March the 2nd at 7 p.m. The link was provided to AMSS, so you can find it on the AMSS website, and or you can certainly call us at 240-777-3000. Thank you again, and I cannot tell you how much impressed I am with the accomplishment of AMSS in just 3 years. That is absolutely outstanding. Congratulations to all. Looking forward to so many more years together. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Dr. Brunetto. Welcome aboard, Dr. McGee. And thank you so much, everybody who has been a presenter today or a guest today. It's been a great 3rd anniversary celebration of AMPS. And I just want to remind everybody in the audience that They can get further information about AMSS and its programs at its website, www.amssmd.org. You can do something else at that website too, and I want to encourage all of you to do that, and that is to donate as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and as often as you can to this very worthy organization. Obviously, the work that it does has become even more critical than ever during the pandemic, and I suspect that it will be just as critical as we get into the recovery, because the recovery will not be quick, it will not be easy, it will not be smooth, and a lot of very vulnerable people in our community are going to need help long after they have been vaccinated. So again, if you would like to contribute to AMSS, I urge you to do that. www.amssmd.org and follow the prompts that'll tell you how to do it. It's been my pleasure to be your moderator today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And once again, happy 3rd anniversary to AMSS. Bye-bye all.